try to kind of paraphrase the conversation that I had the other day with an aspiring player, really good player actually, league guy, that feels like he's plateaued. I think he feels that way because he has indeed plateaued. Not really for the reasons that he thought. I think he's under the impression that he's plateaued because that's just as good as he's going to get. He's reached the limits of his natural abilities or whatever. And I told him I don't think that's the case at all. I also pointed him to this YouTube channel because I've talked about this stuff recently. If this young man wants to break through his plateau, he needs to do a couple things. One is practice a lot. He's young enough, he could even turn pro someday. Either professional, like in the gambling aspect, or just, in tournaments and stuff. He's young enough, he's got that much talent, that much potential. This can happen, but it's not going to happen with him just hanging around his league guys and being the best player on his team and just having fun all the time and all that. Those things are absolutely important. But if he wants to bust through that plateau and potentially get to that next level, got to put in the hours. Got to put in the hours of playing and practicing, and he's got to practice the right things. That's one of the things that I've talked about in my recent videos is everybody's got shots that they don't think they should ever miss. And I think I said, if you think you should never miss a shot, you need to be right about that. But if you're 95% on a shot, that means you're going to miss it. But 1 out of 20 times you're going to miss a shot. Is that good enough for you? It's not good enough for a lot of those pro guys. A lot of those guys you see on pay-per-views and stuff, it's not good enough. And you start talking about 70%, even 80s. No. Guys you see in those tournaments, they have 10% makes and 95 and aboves. Not very many things in the middle. Because if it was in the middle, they worked on it and worked on it and practiced it and I kept bumping that up, getting that up there. One of my favorite quotes that I got from Danny DiLiberto in a pay-per-view once was he was talking about how to win a tournament. Is make every shot you're supposed to make, and a lot of shots you're not supposed to make. I said the same thing to people in the past about like the difference between like a 6 in the APA and a 7 in the APA. A 7's going to get out every time he's supposed to, and a lot of times he's not supposed to. A 6 is going to get out every time he's supposed to. Breaking through that barrier, that plateau, is not about getting really good at some tough shot, masse shots or jump shots or anything like that you're not going to shoot very often. Those things are important. But what is much more important is for me to never miss this 15, for example. Never. This is a shot I should never, ever, ever miss. And if I do, I need to practice it. Even though it's boring, I'm practicing the stupid boring ass 15, which is easy. Well, if it was easy, I would not have missed it. And this is what I was trying to drill into this young man's head. Was sure a shot looks easy, shot seems easy. You're 80% make on it, but if you're 80% make, then 1 out of 5 times you're going to miss. And guess when that 1 out of 5 is going to happen? The worst possible time. Nobody ever misses at times when it's convenient for them. You miss when it sucks, and that's what's going to happen. And that's what is happening with him. He's feeling like he's not improving, and he's saying, "Hey, I'm playing all the time or practicing all the time, well, you're not practicing the right thing. He's practicing shots that he's not going to shoot. He's practicing those 10% makes, those 15% makes, when he doesn't have the other stuff at a much higher level. I don't know if I'm going to have any shot at all right now. Can I put this in and not scratch? This is the question. I can't put it in and I can't scratch. So that was good. It's kind of the gist of what I was getting at. And a big coincidence, I did just cover most of the stuff in a recent video about knowing yourself, knowing your abilities, being completely objective and honest with yourself about your abilities, and knowing, hey, this three ball is easy, but realizing, this is a distance for me that's a little bit of a pain. I'm a little bit stretched out. Sure, it looks easy, but maybe I'm only 75% on the shot. I don't think 75% is good enough for anybody considering making a living playing pool. So I would either have to pick something else or get better than 75% on the shot if I wanted to get to that next level and break through that plateau. This is just what I've told them. Stop just playing, and hey, you're a better player than most of your friends, or all of his friends probably. So you're just going to win. It's going to be great, but you're going to be stuck there because you don't have any need to get better than 80% on a shot. You don't have any desire to get any better than 80% on a shot, so you're not going to get better than 80% on a shot, and then you're going to get up in better competition, try to bust through that plateau, and you're going to miss one of those 80%, one of those 20% that are left over. You're going to miss it, you're going to lose the match, you're going to go, oh man, I can't break through this plateau. Well, maybe that's because you didn't freaking try. Maybe that's because you're not practicing the right thing. So I think there's anything else that I kind of said, but it was mostly just about that. I'm a big proponent of little victories. And that's another thing that can be good about practicing shots that are kind of easy. On paper, they're kind of easy. You make it, you make it, you make it. Okay, little victories, little victories. And I'm definitely a big proponent on practicing shots that will really help your game. Me, I play a lot of bank pool. So practicing this 11 ball right here, yeah, I need to make sure that I've got that. This shit, any top one pocket or bank pool player, they're probably never going to miss this shot. I'm going to miss it all the damn time. So I'm better off practicing this shot cross corner until I can get it at a very, very high level, higher than that clearly. I would be better off practicing that cross corner than I would be 3 in the side. Because you're not going to shoot 3 in the side as nowadays. It's cooler when they go in, but I don't even get to shoot that because I miss this relatively simple cross corner. This is the kind of shot I should be practicing. I can practice the 3 in the side because it's fun. But that, my focus should be on shots like this. When I get so bored that I fall asleep trying to bank this 3 ball over here, it's such an easy shot. I can put it in the category of never miss or very high 90s, 90% at least. Then I can start working on something else. But until I get to that point, I'm going to be plateaued on that shot at least. And you take all the different shots you can have in pool, I'm going to be plateaued on a bunch of them. And I'm going to go, oh man, why can't I break through this plateau? Well, because you're not freaking trying to break through the plateau. You're just playing and having fun. You got to be working on the right stuff. That's all I'm trying to say. Is you got to be working on the right stuff, and you have to know what the right stuff is. If you don't know what the right stuff is, figure it out. Do an honest assessment of yourself and your abilities and your strengths and your weaknesses, and figure out what's the. That was a really good lead. You see that? Figure out what's the best bang for your buck. Would we practicing that three and a side, three and a side, three and a side? I guess if you're playing like a 5 rail bank ring game, sure. But if I'm just playing a regular bank pull game, I'm going to be shooting that other cross corner. Probably every time it comes up, I'm probably going to shoot it. And clearly, I'm capable of missing it. I don't like that. And now I know that for myself, that's a shot I get to work on. Is that little stupid simple cross corner. I get to work on that shot because when I missed it once and made it once. That's not very good. It's like Helen Keller percentages on that shot. A shot that he. I think that's all I want to say about this. We talked about it for a while. We had a couple beers while we talked about it, and I don't know if any of it's if he's gonna take any of it to heart. It just sounds more. What are your percentage on making the shot? What are your odds on making the shot? Okay, is that good enough for you? If it's not, work on it. If it's good enough for you, find some other shot. I want to find those things that are, well, find the shots that the people you aspire to be as good as, those guys, the shots that they don't miss. And look at yourself, go, hey, dude, pick a name. I'll pick on Federer some more. I have never seen Federer miss that shot. Do I miss it? Hell yeah. Maybe I should work on it. Get up closer to Federer's level on that. Federer's a bad example because I'm not sure I've ever seen him. Anyway, he's a very good player. That's it. That's the conversation I had about trying to get this guy or give this guy some advice on a way to try to bust through this plateau that he feels like he's in. And it takes work. It takes work to put in the hours and practice, and it takes some thought to make sure you're practicing the right stuff. That's all I had to say about it. Thanks, guys.